And now a few moments behind the scenes with Disney. In 1928, Walt Disney had an inspiration. It became Mickey Mouse. And Mickey and Walt started down the path of imagination that would lead to a real place called Disneyland.
It came about when my daughters were young, and Saturday was always Daddy's Day with the two daughters. So we'd start out and try to go someplace with, different things. And I take them to the merry-go-round, and I took them different places. And as I'd sit there while they rode the merry-go-round, did all these things, sit on a bench, eating peanuts, I felt that there should be something built, some kind of an amusement enterprise built where the parents and the children could have fun together. So that's how Disneyland started.
In 1954, Disneyland was an idea whose time had come.
Isn't this a riot today?
Oh, it certainly is.
On opening day, grown-ups and kids flocked to the park from all over the world. Here for the first time, parents could relive the joys of their own childhood while sharing the experience with their children. It was truly a magic kingdom, a place for kids of all ages. And as Walt had expected, it brought families closer together. Soon, by popular demand, another Magic Kingdom was built at Walt Disney World in Florida. But this time, the dream had grown to encompass EPCOT.
EPCOT will take its cue from the new ideas and new technologies that are now emerging from the creative centers of American industry. It will be a community of tomorrow that will never be completed, but will always be introducing and testing and demonstrating new materials and new systems.
Today, Walt's concept has become a reality. At EPCOT, mankind's greatest technical achievements and highest aspirations are on display for all to see. And there's more. World Showcase, where the nations of the world are neighbors. Guests can enjoy the best of each country, and people gain a better understanding of each other and have fun doing it. So far, 12 nations have joined the Walt Disney World family on the shore of EPCOT Lagoon. And this summer, Norway becomes part of the ever-expanding circle of friendship. And right now, for the Norway Pavilion, Disney Imagineers are busy creating the most exciting attraction in the entire World Showcase. They call it Seaventure, and it's like no ride you've ever experienced before. Unless you've already met those mythical monsters called trolls that lurk in Norway's famous fjords.
When you go to Norway as a tourist, you see wooden figurines of trolls almost everywhere.
For Seaventure, Disney illustrators went to Norway to study the culture, then faithfully recreated the images of ancient Norwegian folklore, which were then sculpted into scale models 1 inch to the foot, to help the designers of the ride actually visualize every twist and turn in 3-dimensional miniature. Randy Carter designed the Seaventure sets.
Oh, there you are. You're going the wrong way. Let's take a look at the ride the way our guests will see it from the boat here.
It's in this scale model stage of development that Imagineers first get a sense of what the ride will really look and feel like, as in this cavern, where guests must outmaneuver some menacing trolls.
For the last second, all of a sudden, our boat is pushed out backwards, and this is really where the thrilling part of our ride starts to take place. And now we are cast down a 12-foot drop into a North Sea storm, which is the setting of modern Norway with the oil platforms, and to be a very violent storm.
The next step toward completion calls for the manufacture of the full-size audio animatronic figures. Through that unique combination of Disney art and technology called audio animatronics, lifelike creatures of all kinds have entertained millions of guests at all the Disney theme parks. Back in the early days of Disneyland, Walt Disney explained why these space-age creatures came into being.
You see, our whole 40-some-odd years here has been in the world of making things move, inanimate things move. From a drawing to all kinds of any little props and things. Now we're making these human figures, dimensional human figures move, make animals move, make anything move, through the use of electronics.
I'm not going to replace the human being. I believe me, it's just for show purposes, because you take Disneyland down there, we operate 15 hours a day.
And these shows have got to go on the hour. Now, my Tiki Bird show goes on 3 times an hour, and I don't have to stop for coffee breaks and all that kind of stuff. You see? So that's the whole idea of it. It's just another dimension in the animation that we've been doing all our life.
Today, as opening day approaches, the stars of Seaventure have been built, given their finishing touches, and animated not by pencil and paper, but by state-of-the-art computer technology. Many are ready and waiting for their debut in the Norway showcase, while others, like this river troll, who will be dunked literally millions of times, are still in the testing stage. Luckily, those with speaking parts don't need to rehearse because their dialogue is pre-recorded and already synchronized with their movements.
And I know 1,000 nasty things we can do to them. No. Let's send them to the rock.
When the program is perfected, the stars are put into the show's full-size sets. This one depicts Norway's Viking heritage, and then special effects wizards add their brand of realism.
Isn't this great? Looks hot, doesn't it? This is one of the great effects cooked up by Jim Mulder and his guys over in the special effects department. And this is one of the most realistic campfires that we've done for any attraction. This is actually pieces of silk that are cut out and illuminated from below. And the way it flickers, it simulates a flame just really perfectly. And the smoke is actually steam.
And then there's the big job of creating authentic scenery.
We're trying to develop a scenic backdrop for the loading area of the ride that's a composite of different landscapes. And I work from photographic reference, some of which we collected on our trip, both of the trips we've taken to Norway so far. In the end, the final product will be painted by a team of scenic painters rather than a single person. So it'll be a really gigantic project to get this thing painted.
When it's finished, Seaventure will take guests on a thrilling voyage from Norway's mythical past to the promise of its bright tomorrow. Visitors will also find fascinating Norwegian shops, plus a restaurant and a bakery serving savory Scandinavian delights. And they'll see a magnificent movie capturing Norway's real people and breathtaking scenery. An authentic Viking ship will also be standing guard in the Showcase Lagoon. How this ship got to EPCOT is a story familiar to Disney Imagineer Aric Adolph.
The North Show project manager at a meal one night implied to me that Americans were basically soft and that they lacked the spirit of adventure.
To prove him wrong, Aric joined the 5-man crew of a ship handcrafted according to ancient Viking design. Called the Norseman, it set sail in 1986 to celebrate the 1000th anniversary of the Vikings' discovery of America, more than 500 years before Columbus first sighted the New World. Armed with survival gear and a video camera, Aric began the adventure of a lifetime.
They were country people, and they were very sincere and some of the nicest people that I've ever met.
Steve, are we having a good time or what? No. No? No. Why? You're too close to me. You stink.
After rounding Nova Scotia, the Norsemen sailed into a hurricane with winds up to 112 miles per hour.
We ran with the wind for approximately 27 to 34 hours. The swells were 15 to 20 feet. We started taking on quite a bit of water, and for a good 21 hours, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen to us. I thought a lot about my family and my life and what I would change, because I realized that life out there was pretty meaningless. It's the feeling as if you're driving a car and you slam your brakes on and you almost hit a child, or you have an adrenaline rush and you get goosebumps, and you're very frightened. Taking that fear and modulating it for 21 hours it's a difficult thing to do. Unfortunately, we had awoken in Boston. The next day, I went and bought a paper, and there we were, front page. And I was pretty proud because every market, every store, every place I went, I'd pick up a paper, and there we were, big as life, front page. And sailing a little boat, a 49-foot ship down a coastline, a primitive ship, seemed to generate a lot of interest.
On October 4th, 1986, the Norsemen rode into the waters of EPCOT, a gift from Norway to the people of the United States, and a living symbol of the spirit of international cooperation. Meanwhile, still busy, Disney Imagineers are putting the final touches on the Norway site, while the proud Viking ship called the Norseman takes its permanent place in the colorful history of Walt Disney World. And so this June, with the completion of the Norway Pavilion and its awesome Seaventure, the dream that began as a wish to bring a father and his children closer together continues to grow and now embraces the entire family of man.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.